Thank you, Zimbabwe, for tuning into yet another informative edition of your program. This is Agricultural New Directions, Agribusiness, and my name is Wadzanai Manyore. So this is a platform which was specifically created for our farming community here in Zimbabwe. This is where the farmers converge and share ideas and who are participating in the agricultural industry of our country, and the various stakeholders, including state enterprises, they do converge here, and we talk about pertinent issues in the agricultural industry of Zimbabwe. As you know, well over 67% of our population here in Zimbabwe makes a living out of agricultural enterprises. Zimbabwe is an agro-based economy, and it is important that we talk of agricultural issues, agri-economics, agribusiness, production economics, business finance, time value of money, to mention but a few. Today in this very episode, we are going to be taking a different twist, but it also speaks to agriculture and is very important. Conservation agriculture. We are here in Mashonaland West in Norton, where we are looking at regenerative agriculture, and we have taken the liberty of inviting the owner of this enterprise, of this place, and is going to be taking us through the nitty-gritties of regenerative agriculture. Stay tuned. As I have alluded to earlier, today we are going to be joined by the expert in regenerative agriculture, Mr. Andre Hoffman. He is owning this enterprise and doing a lot of activities that speak to conservation agriculture. Mr. Hoffman, thank you for joining us today.
Well, it's good to see you again, man.
Yes. As we get into our discussion, Andre, I would like you to introduce to our audience there at home, our farming community, what is regenerative agriculture? It sounds like a fancy term.
One of the biggest issues that we face in agriculture is, especially with the use of synthetic fertilizers, chemicals, etc., we are not looking at future generations. Regenerative agriculture is a term that basically means you're putting back nutrients into the soil, right, that are going to stay there. It's all natural. It's all how God has provided for us. It's all how the whole ecosystem works. But the reality is that we just need to make sure that the farming community understands that there is a lifetime to chemical usage.
Yes.
Right? And the problem is that we're drawing close to that end of the line. And if we don't act now, we are going to have severe issues.
Yes. Thank you so much, Andre. You spoke of being stewards. Before we are farmers, we are stewards of the environment first. Correct. And you are talking of farming naturally and using our God-given, environment to make profits out of it. As we move right along, I want us to talk about the benefits of regenerative agriculture. I understand that our farmers are taking notes. Just by looking at this manure and this compost, they've just gained interest. Anything that can save $1 in their pockets, unlike going and purchasing bags of fertilizer, which have become expensive. What are the benefits of getting into regenerative agriculture as a Zimbabwean farmer?
So I'll give you a statement, Wadza. The nutrition that is given by an orange,
yes,
right? 100 years ago, if you went and picked an orange and you ate that orange, the nutritional value of that orange is equated to 10 nowadays.
Okay.
Right? That is how bad things have got.
Okay.
Right? The problem with chemicals is the only way that you can sort anything out, or you want to get anything happening or anything like that, you just have to increase.
Yes.
My fertilizer. Right? The problem is that is destroying the microbiology within the soil, right? The most important thing in the whole ethos and the whole economy within a soil is the microbiology.
Yes.
The microbiology is fundamental, right? So as you can see, we're making compost, but we don't make compost and sell compost.
Okay.
We make a soil enhancer. We understand what needs to go into the soil, right? When you now add the specific nutrients that we put into the compost to make it a soil enhancer, you're now covering a whole base of minerals.
Okay.
Right? The problem that you have with a lot of organic fertilizers and organic fertilizer suppliers, etc., is that they don't tend to cater for the base.
Okay.
Right? the base, this is a basil in essence, right? And your top dressing and so forth. The beauty of this is that we add biochar into it, right? The biochar is a house for microorganisms,
Okay.
and in the biochar there are nutrients as well, right? So what happens is all these things hold onto the nutrients so that when the plant requires it, it is plant active and plant ready, right? So we just have to understand that what we don't want to change the way the natural system works.
Okay.
Right. Our motto is mimicking nature.
Okay.
Right. Where we just take what nature does, and we just confine it, and we make it bigger.
Okay.
Right, and concentrate it. Your question was, can this be beneficial to whoever? It is 100% beneficial, because you're giving the plant natural nitrogen, natural phosphorus, natural potassium, natural calcium. These are all natural nutrients that come through on what we make.
Okay. Yes. Now, Andre, you spoke of the benefits of having this kind of an enterprise as a farmer, but you would find that there is a general misconception in our farming community whereby they think that conservation agriculture is for maybe the smallholder farmers, one who has maybe a small piece of land, or backyard farming, you have a patch, you have a small garden. But when you are doing hundreds of hectares of tobacco, or you are doing 50 hectares of wheat, will it be still possible? Will it still be lucrative for a farmer?
So, Wadza, on all farms, every single farm that I've been on, right, has huge grasslands.
Yes.
Right? There's your organic matter. Right? So if all you do is set up systems within your farm, right? One of the biggest issues that has happened with commercial farming is a farmer becomes a single cropping or a single entity of that product.
Yes.
Right? A wheat farmer, or a tobacco farmer, or anything like that.
Soybean farmer.
The issue that you have is that nature integrates naturally.
Yes.
Right? So integrated farming, as if you remember the fish interview we did.
Yes, the
right?
fish episode.
I spoke to you about integrated farming. This takes integrated farming to the next level. Right? You were talking about saving money for a farmer, because at the end of the day, the farmer needs to make money.
Yes.
Right? As you integrate your systems within your farm, you're now getting what is called, by integration, you are reducing the cost because the system's already there on your farm. So if you go and cut your grass, right, or you go and take out bushes like lantana or anything like that, all that comes into these projects.
Okay.
Right? So you're using your waste.
Yes, thank you so much, Andre. We are going to take it from there in the second segment. There you heard it, viewers. We are talking of regenerative agriculture and soil enhancements as farmers here in Zimbabwe. On that note, we are going to go on a short commercial break. We'll be right back with this and more in the second segment. Stay tuned. Welcome back, viewers, to Agricultural New Directions, Agribusiness in support of Vision 2030. We are here in the second segment, and today we are in Mashonaland West in Norton, where we are looking at regenerative agriculture as a farming community. Now, viewers, we encourage you to be a part of these conversations. Feel free to get in touch with the producer, Wadzanai Manyore, on 0772 807 506. Alternatively, you can like our Facebook page, Agribusiness with Wadzanai. We also have ongoing discussions on our Twitter timeline. It's at Agribusiness110. We are also available on YouTube. Leave your comments and suggestions. They are very important to us. It's Agribusiness with Wadzanai. Thank you, Andre. We are in the second segment.
Thank you, Wadza.
Earlier on, before into the break, you were talking of the misconception generally in agriculture, whereby people say that conservation agriculture is more inclined to smallholder farmers. For commercial, it might not work because of the huge pieces of land. Can you continue to demystify those conceptions, giving us advantages and how you can do it as a commercial farmer?
Well, again, the simple equation is back to most composting enterprises are always related to like home gardens, market gardens, etc., etc. A plant is a plant.
Yes.
Right? If you can make the nutrients naturally, it's going to thrive better, it's going to be stronger. If you remember the fish episode again, I bring it back.
Yes.
If you remember the size and strength of the stalks of the potatoes,
yes.
Right? Now, that was natural fertilizer, right? You're going back to the same thing. You're going back to where plants came from, right? Us humans have a misconception that we can better what happens naturally.
Yes.
And we can't, right? Because there's nowhere here where you can say that natural mechanisms of fertilizer are failing, right? Look at the bushes, look at the trees. Every 3-6 months the grass grows again, etc.
Very healthy.
It's all very
green.
healthy. Correct. So what we want to do, again, like I say, we mimic nature.
Yes.
Right? With our soil enhancers, because we add certain natural things to it, it absorbs water by itself. Right? By absorbing water, it holds the water, which means you're going to reduce the requirement of water for that fertilizing of crops. Hence, you're protecting water again, right? So you're ticking all the good boxes when you farm this way.
Yes.
All you have to do, Wadza, is have a system in place that produces composts, right? Gives you on a massive scale, and there's a lot of land that is idle on a farm,
yes.
right? You can create your own composts, right? We can help you do that. Now, once you've now composted that, right? Now we add the worms.
Okay.
Right? We add vermiculture.
Okay.
Once you add vermicompost to this, and you add your biochar, and you add all of that to this, it's now a natural concoction of fertilizer that gives you a complete broad spectrum.
Okay. Okay.
The beauty with the way that we farm, the more you put on, the more you put in the bank. So they will be ready for more crops. Next year, you're using less soil enhancer.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
So now you're asking, what about the money side? The money side takes care of itself because it just adds in the nutrient bank, in your soil.
Yes. Yes.
Right? It's all there, ready for the next crop.
Now, Andre, you would find that here in Zimbabwe at the moment, there are calls from our government, especially through the Ministry of Lands, Agriculture, Fisheries, Water and Rural Resettlement, where they are talking of the Horticultural Recovery Plan, which also speaks to exporting, reaching out to export markets. You would find that most of our export markets, generally in the world over, they prefer organically produced foodstuffs. For example, tomatoes, cherry tomatoes, there are peas, there are blueberries and stuff. Talking to a farmer who's looking to get into the export markets, aligning it to regenerative agriculture, what is your word of advice, your sentiments, your recommendations?
Well, the reality is you don't need to go through any form of certification.
Yes.
Because you're not buying a chemical.
Yes.
There's not one chemical truck that drives onto your farm because you're making it all naturally, right? If you can show this to whoever the market is, right, and they can see what you're doing, you've ticked all the boxes.
Already you've won their hearts.
You've won their hearts.
Yes.
Right? And the beauty is what we are looking at doing as a business, we're looking at rolling this out through communities.
Okay.
In the communities, we want to give the farmer the ability to earn more money, right, by proper farming practices, natural farming practices that will then give them natural product.
Okay.
Later on, I'm sure you're going to show, we're going to take you to our rape,
okay,
right, where you're going to see the size of our rape leaves, right? We have not put one drop of chemical or fertilizer on that crop.
Okay.
You will see for yourself just how flourishing these plants are.
Okay, now Andre, I want us to talk about, you spoke of establishing a system whereby as a farmer, in order to have this enterprise, you do have to establish a system that you were explaining earlier on. Speaking of this as an investment, how intensive is it? And how is it at maybe looking at the returns? Is it a long-term investment or it is a short-term investment whereby you can say I'm engaging into this as this season, this tobacco production season? When soon can you get results? And in terms of investment, how intensive are we talking? We are talking of capital injections. How much are we looking at?
Okay, so what's a simple equation, right? Anything naturally, according to my research, takes around about 3 months to happen.
Yes.
Okay, so you have to be able to invest the first 3 months. That first 3 months is going to earn you very little money, right? Because you're going to be creating your compost heaps, you're going to be hopefully creating your own biochar, you're going to hopefully be creating all your remedies, your vermicultures, etc. What then happens, right, is when that all amalgamates, you've now got fertilizer for free.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because it's all waste products that come from your farm. Right? So if you do this properly, in essence, your fertilizer is going to cost you nothing because your tractor is going to be running anyway during the day.
Yes.
Right? You're not going out and hiring a tractor. Your tractor's there. Right? You're going to, and if it's a community where there is no tractor, it's manpower. Right? But there's no cost to it because it's already there on your farm. You just have to educate yourself.
Yes, I cannot emphasize the timeliness of this episode where we are looking at the increase of cost in fertilizers. You'd find that in some shops it is going for $78 per 50 kg bag. But here Andre is telling us of a conservative method which is called regenerative agriculture and which is also lucrative with a lot of nutrients that you can utilize for your cropping enterprise. We're going to go on a short commercial break. Stay tuned. Welcome back, viewers. We are in the third and final segment of your program, Agricultural New Directions Agribusiness, in support of Vision 2030. Today we are looking at regenerative agriculture, or you can call it conservation agriculture, and it is also suitable for both the smallholder farmers and the commercial farmers who have vast pieces of land here in Zimbabwe. Andre, we are in the third and final segment. Welcome back.
Thank you, Wadza.
Earlier on, I spoke of having our inputs in agriculture, the fertilizers, the chemicals. The prices are ever rising. There is an increase in prices every season. You'd find that this year, like I said earlier on, a 50 kg bag of best fertilizer is going for $78. And here you are coming in with this new technology, which speaks on saving money and is also efficient and effective. Can you pick from there?
So what like I was explaining before the break, right, is farmers can do this themselves. But obviously farmers, their main interest is to grow crops.
Yes.
So if they don't want to do this, right, we are selling our soil enhancer at $10 a bag. To me, that's a $68 saving per bag on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 hectare plot. You're looking at hundreds, possibly thousands of dollars of saving, right? So the reality is that there is no other better way of farming.
Yes.
You're going to get all the nutritional benefits. You're going to save money. If you're going to integrate it into your farming mechanism, it's almost free, right? So for me, it makes more sense than anything else.
Thank you so much, Andre. On that note, viewers, we're going to cross over and listen to the expert in terms of chemicals and the chemical composition of the compost we are seeing behind us. Stay tuned. Thank you, Zimbabwe, for staying tuned to Agricultural New Directions in support of Vision 2030 Agribusiness. At this point in time, I'm joined by Victor Milanzi. He is the head agronomist of this place, of this enterprise being owned by Andre Hoffman. Victor, thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
You would understand that generally, Victor, where there is compost, where there is humus, pests and diseases also tend to thrive. They also tend to take advantage of the humus, and they can cause issues in our cropping enterprises. How do you ensure that you do not have pests and diseases that will eventually affect crops in the field when establishing this?
All right. So I don't want to lie. Pests are there.
Yes.
They have been there. We have seen them. But what we have done is we have created, we have tried to mimic nature.
Okay.
By introducing natural predators. How do we do that? We mimic nature by the natural predators, for example, bugs.
Okay.
We've got bugs, we've got caterpillars and the likes. Normally it's birds.
Okay.
So we try to create, an ideal environment for birds, for other predators that feed on the problematic pests in our crops.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, finally, Victor, as we round off, I can see behind us there is a group of people who are sieving the matter, and also you can see this neatly arranged humus. I've never seen a compost which is in such alignment. The lines are running parallel to each other, and at the same time, we also have heaps of manure behind us. Can you take us through the processes and the stages of what exactly is taking place at this enterprise?
All right. So what's taking place, we are making what we call our soil enhancer.
Okay.
Our soil enhancer comprises of our compost, our worm castings, and biochar.
Okay.
Biochar is the one that is being burned there.
Okay.
So biochar, how we make biochar, we call it pyrolysis. It's just making charcoal at high temperature in the absence of oxygen.
Okay.
Then that's our main source of carbon. Microbes need carbon, a lot of carbon. So that's our chief source of carbon. Then we've got our compost, which becomes, it comes with humus, it comes with other nutrients.
Okay.
Yes. So what we put in our compost is what matters, because we wanna compete with the conventional fertilizers in terms of nutrient composition.
Okay.
So how do we do that? We take things from that are already, in nature. Then we compost them. Then in the process of composting, within 2 weeks, I think 70 degrees. A prolonged time of the compost having 70 degrees will kill germs, will kill, unnecessary bacteria and the likes.
Okay.
And
but how do you achieve these stacks of humus, Victor? Because I can see heaps with loosely, with loose matter here. But behind us, there are stacks of humus. You can see stages, like about 3 stages making up that stack.
All right, so what we are doing right here on the compost is it's passive aeration.
Okay.
So we lay it up in such a manner that there is some aggregation that allows airflow.
Okay.
So we have airflow coming. If you look closely, you can't see, but there is a base that allows air. So the compost is suspended, maybe 50. It's suspended.
Okay.
Yeah, so that there is air coming from beneath. So we arrange it in different layers because also you can see feathers. It's how we want, the matter to integrate to each other. When we sieve it, it becomes one whole thing, and we want to achieve that uniformity within the compost. So we layer it up differently with different kinds of matter at different stages. We've got greens, then we've got our browns, and then we've got some stuff that we add on too.
Okay, now Victor, in a snippet as we close this segment, can you tell us in terms of any farmer here in Zimbabwe, is it possible for any farmer to establish this kind of establishment, this enterprise, or you will need investment even before going into training and then also purchasing certain equipment? Can you maybe just enlighten our audience on that?
I think anybody can do it.
Okay.
Anybody can do it. It's the know-how that will cost them, but anybody can do it. If they do it on themselves, maybe it will take them some time to perfect the thing, but eventually, I'm sure they'll come around.
Thank you so much, Victor. It was a pleasure having you with us today.
All right, thank you.
There you had it, viewers. We're talking of regenerative agriculture or conservation agriculture here in Zimbabwe, where we are encouraging the farming community to take advantage of these conservative methods and tap into the export markets, which do require naturally produced foodstuffs. We have our peas, our cherry tomatoes, our lettuce that are expected in the export market, but they do require organically produced vegetables. From me, your host was Zanai Manyore. I'm also on Instagram. It's a W Manyore, and the crew behind the scenes. Have yourselves a fabulous evening. Thank you for watching.